morning, YouTube. Good morning, good morning, good morning. We are here. Yes, we are here. I told y'all we gonna follow the Durk trial, even though I'm not in Cali. Okay, we gonna follow it. I didn't know my boy Teddy Nash was out there, but you know he out there. Lamar, good morning, good morning. Lamar said the people they have reporting at the courthouse all need to be banned. Mo about the only one know what he talking about. I don't know who Mo is, but I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna hold y'all. Y'all know since I've been on blogging time full time, I done got a little, I be popping it a little bit. I ain't gonna hold you. I kind of created like a floodgate when it comes to like the urban section, wanting a couple trials, because like it is a fiasco all over the place, like on some real stuff. Even down in Texas, I heard about all the bloggers got banned from the Yellow Beezy trial and like for messing with jurors and stuff. And then you got people in Cali, like, I don't know what's going on. I ain't gonna hold you, okay? Lawyer. Oh, yeah. The lawyer, for sure. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. When Bradford said, I know I've been doing this for 30 years, I know a snitch or two, that took me out. That took me out for sure. All right, give me a minute. Y'all share the live for me, man. So we're gonna go live on this. I'll chop it down, make it a video later on for those who ain't tapped in, but we about to like get into some of the recap. I'm gonna tell y'all how I feel about it and whatever going on. And I do know today OTF Jam is taking a stand. So today should be a good day to get the details from that. And this is the reason why I'm doing the one for yesterday early, because they 3 hours behind us. So by the time we finish catching up with what took place with opening statements, it'll be time to definitely tap into what OTF Jam had to say. Like, yeah. It's gonna be a lot coming out at this trial, okay? A lot. But hey, I'm with y'all in real time. Like, whatever. I'm finding out the info just as, as soon as y'all find out the info. But hold on, let me share my live real quick. I need y'all to share just like I'm sharing it, Let them know Mickey Truth is live on YouTube right now. I might as well go ahead and keep my my Twitter up. Yeah. All right, I'll keep my Twitter up. Give me a second. Let me share it on Facebook. But how y'all doing this morning? I think we're gonna go with Sadie today. We did Trap Lil Ross the other day. Trap, now I ain't gonna lie. When I first seen Trap Lil Ross, I said Trap gonna come with something. He gonna come with some type of curveball. Like I was just waiting on it. Like I was just waiting to see what he was gonna do. Cause at first I ain't gonna lie, he had his notepad. I'm all for the notes and stuff. He had his notepad and stuff. And then boom, yesterday when he hit that tweet, I was like, come on, man. Come on. Responding. What we gonna do? I share it on Facebook already. Yeah. Hold on, I got shared on Instagram. Then we're gonna get started. Got to share it on everything. All right, hold on, y'all. I'm coming. I got a little slow at doing this. Normally I used to be quick at it. But I was on Facebook. Y'all know I had to go on Facebook Live first because I had to get my Carolina content out of the way. So I did an hour live on them. It's too long. Oh, that's the link. Maybe I had the wrong link. Try this again. We got it. We got it. All right, we got it. Let's get to it. I thought I had his video pulled up. Do I? All right, there we go. All right, y'all. So we're gonna get into it. Like I said, Teddy Nash is out in Cali. You about to get blocked, Lamar. Yo, I'm telling you, man, being a blogger full time definitely got me rusty on YouTube, but we here, okay? So, all right, let me get focused, okay? Y'all know it's been a long time since I've been on live doing content, but we here. All right, as y'all know, Lil Durk started trial yesterday, okay? We have multiple bloggers out there. We got Teddy Nash out there. You got Trap Lil Ross out there. You got I'm Not a Lawyer, but I don't know if I'm Not a Lawyer, but consider herself a blogger, but nevertheless, you know, she covers cases for sure. You got lawyers out there. Is a lot of people out there. Okay. Now I was planning on going out there. However, I got blogger bookings that's kind of like not making it worthwhile to go because I can't stay out there long. So hopefully at some point before the end of trial, even if I get out there for the verdict, I'm gonna try to go, but it's up in the air right now. Because like I'm on a blogger tour for those that don't know. So like every weekend I'm like booked somewhere for the next few weeks. So it's just a lot going on. But anyway, we're gonna still keep up with the trial. Now yesterday was massive. I'm talking my phone started going off. And I was like, what's going on? I'm doing blogger content. I'm like, Lil Durk snitching, what? I said, on day one? How did we get to that on day one? And we're going to get into this video because I'm pretty sure Seti is going to talk about it. So y'all already know how these reactions go. It's definitely going to be a stop and pause. If you want to watch it without me stopping and pausing it, go on over to Seti Nash's page and watch it in its entirety. But if you're ready for my reaction, we're going to get into it, okay? TT, what it do? Lamar, come on, man. All right, let's get started because y'all know Seti is a good talking Negro, okay? And he be a long-winded. His video is 40 minutes, so we're gonna be here for a while. So let's go ahead and get started.
This is gonna be a longer video, the full recap of day one. If y'all can, man, hit the like button right now. Thank you. I'm not gonna ask you guys for cash apps and all that stuff, but please hit the like button right now. Thank you in the interim because we got a lot of stuff that we got to get to, bro.
I got to pause real quick. I just want to say I taught Seti Nash well. The last time we was at a trial together was the O-Block trial. Seti ain't had no paper, no pen, no nothing. So to see him with his notebook and his pen by the getting to them notes, hey, I ain't gonna lie. He might be the big dog, but I taught him well. I ain't gonna lie, that was a proud moment seeing him flip through them pages. Because y'all know I like my notes, okay?
Some notes. I'm going to be reading from my notes. I will not be stopping anything, so you guys will be perfectly fine with all of that stuff. I'm going to reread my opening statements because there were some things that I purposely left out because I wasn't able to see the opening statements from the prosecutors, but I know exactly what they're doing, how they're doing it, why they are doing it. And on top of that, we're going to basically destroy and ether all of this shit because I know the secret that the Fed's been playing in front of our face the whole entire time. But obviously, I got to wait to the end to give it to y'all. So let's do it. We were told, and if you're from the 4-minute video previously, then you might want to skip ahead. But I'm going to tell you there's going to be other details that I left out, so you probably don't want to skip ahead. But we were told the don't book no flights It wasn't about LA. Don't book no fights in my name. Wasn't about LA. So in the opening statement from the prosecutor,
Paul, I ain't gonna hold y'all. Y'all know when the indictment first came out, you know, I was doing videos on it left and right. If y'all go back and watch my original indictment, I told y'all those text messages is gonna always paint the picture the prosecution won't. But until we know exactly when they would, like the context of them, we can't really per se say that, right? And I said that almost 2 years ago. So it's crazy now to hear Steady talking about it wasn't really this, it was that. And I told y'all 2 years ago that same thing. So this is going to be interesting.
Prosecutors, the main point that they tried to do and say was this. Your boy, Lil Durk, knew it was hot. Your boy, Lil Durk, booked the plane to sit up here and leave the country. What they didn't tell you was Durk did panic. Nobody's disputing that. I left that out. I left that part out purposely because I was wondering why the hell the defense decided to bring this shit up, but obviously I didn't know the prosecution's freaking beginning. So they talk about Durk not initially giving himself up, him barricading himself. Yeah, because he's calling people, letting people know I'm about to go to jail. It's going to be a little ugly. The marshals are here and all this stuff. The U.S. Marshals announced themselves as the U.S. Marshals. The marshals are the feds most of the time. Now, they will help assist in state cases where they think it's just some of the most dangerous shit. When that comes to mind is Get Money Lil Ronnie, when his daughter and him, when they unfortunately were killed in Texas, and then they went and the marshals got the guys. So they got the other guy. The one guy just turned himself in. So
I kind of feel like, don't the U.S. Marshals, aren't they the ones to like that's responsible for like going to get or transporting them? I kind of feel like they do that. Hold on. I think they do the transport because they can cross different lines. Let me see. Serve as a primary federal agency for tracking and arresting violent and high-profile fugitives. Court security protects the federal judicial courthouse judge and other court personnel. Prisoner operation, witness security. Okay, I thought so. Okay. I just want to make sure I understood exactly their role.
So the marshals typically are coming from the feds. And you know this because if you've been to a federal building, the marshals are the ones who run the courtrooms and all.
Yeah. So just to sum up, for those that got ADHD like me, the marshals is a federal agency, period. They are the feds. Ain't no, it's like if you Google it, it tells you they are the feds.
All the stuff who bring in the witnesses, who bring in the people who are being prosecuted. So that's what that was all about. And then I'm going to destroy something that Trap Lord Ross said too in this whole entire thing. So basically, the guilty murder shit, that's not really going to be a thing that they're going for as far as trying to say Durk ever killed somebody or any of that shit. They kind of already destroying their own theory within that part. But Jim is their star witness. He will be in there tomorrow. So make sure y'all tune in tomorrow because we're going to break that immediately when it come out. When we take a break, I'm finna run down, you know what I'm saying, and do my thing and let y'all know. So they bring up from 2022 to 2023, February, that boy wasn't outside and he ratted on 30 cases with no directions from Lil Durk. All the cases that Jam snitched on, he never mentioned Lil Durk in any of this shit. He never mentioned Lil Durk in any of that. So that's important. One of the other snitches that's coming in is a person called Keith Jones, but he never knew Lil Durk. He did a 5-hour interrogation where they never discussed Lil Durk ever. He's Jam's friend. He don't know Lil Durk, but
First and foremost, 30 cases is crazy. Okay, 30 cases is crazy. Okay, So even before we get to the next part, it kind of sounds like, so Keith Jones is Jam's friend. So what, they just sat down together, so everything he knows is gonna be from Jam point of view, or what? This is crazy. Crazy. 30 cases is wild.
He decides to drop Lil Durk's name, and it seems like they were hinting to Lil Durk and all that crap. So there's that part. Kayvon Grant, aka Vonnie, he's a snitch. He's going to be one of the most important snitches. I think Jam's more important because of the murders that Jam's committed. So they're going to try to play Lil Durk as guilty by association.
Said in line, it said he interviewed with the agents 30 different times. Oh, I was like, 30 different cases is crazy. Hold on, let me pull up Mel. Let me pull up Mel on page. Because the only thing, like, I'm gonna tell y'all this. I like to follow Mel with the case because she not in our sector. So she's not gonna be like, she ain't gonna paint a story because she not in our lane, right? You know what I'm saying? She just gonna say what's coming out at the trial. So let me go to her Instagram. Hold on, let me see. Did she do a YouTube video? Hold on now, because I'm not there and I need to know what's going on for real. Hold on. Because I'm basing my content off of what the people there are saying. But let me see something real quick. Because 30 cases is wow. Let me see. Did she drop a video already? All right, she did one. Okay. We gonna transition. We're gonna pause. You think so? Man, we're gonna pause on City for a second. Okay. We're gonna go to Mel real quick. But Lamar, you just said he ain't said the right info. So we gotta either pick. We're gonna have to pick Sadie or we're gonna have to pick Mel. So watch, because I'm not there. So we're gonna have to pick one of the two. Yeah, that's the one I was about to do her YouTube video. We're gonna have to pick one of the two so that I can get the synopsis of what's going on in trial. And then I can, put my little 1-2 on it. So which one y'all want to do? Y'all want to do Sadie or Mel? You think the Yellow Visa trial will be live streamed? The trial, yes. They don't do the jury selection. Trial will be streamed for sure. And we're going to follow it once they get into trial. So yes, I will be streaming the Yellow Visa trial because every other hearing they stream it. So I hope they still do it. Now, it's a possibility maybe they won't. But they should because the news did it before when they did the hearing. So hopefully they still do it. All right, so which one y'all want? We going with Mel or we gonna stay with Sadie? Which one we doing? All right, we're gonna check out Mel. And Mel video is shorter too. So let's get into it.
Today was day one of Lil Durk's federal trial, and I was there, so let me give you the details on what happened. So the day started off with opening statements from prosecutors, and their theme was that this is a case about revenge, stalking, and premeditated murder. They told the jury that this case is not about music, it's about murder, and what they described as a years-long campaign to get revenge for the death of Davion Bennett, aka King Von. And to tell this story about revenge, prosecutors first introduced the key players in the case. I'm going to go a little out of order, but just so that it makes sense. So the first three key players are the defendants in this case. There's Durk Banks, the Grammy award-winning rapper and founder of OTF. Then DeAndre Wilson, aka Didi, who prosecutors say helped recruit people for the alleged hit and later helped the shooters get away. And then there's David Brian Lindsay, the last defendant for this trial, who prosecutors allege was one of the actual shooters in this murder. And then from there, they move on to the person that they say is central to the entire motive for this case, and that is Davion Bennett, aka King Von. So Von was a rapper, an OTF member, and a close friend of Durk, and he was killed on November 6, 2020 in Atlanta, Georgia. And prosecutors say that after Von was killed by rapper Quando Rondo's entourage, Durk became consumed with getting revenge. And then the prosecutors introduced a few other people who are going to become very important in this trial. because some of them will be taking the stand. First up is Jerome Casey Hester, aka OTF Jam, and prosecutors called him a, quote, cold-blooded killer. They say Jam was one of the shooters in this murder, and they note he has already pled guilty in connection with this case. He is cooperating with the federal government, and he will be taking the stand to testify against the defendants. Up next.
All right, let's talk real quick before we get to Bonnie. All right, shout out to my girl Mel, man. I am not a lawyer, but doing her thing, okay? Do you have the King Von Hospital footage? No, I don't. But it's on YouTube. So let's talk about OTF Jam. I ain't gonna hold you. I remember when that first broke. Damn, who was some? Let me see. Was it OTF twin? What it do, Donald? Was it OTF twin or one of it? Damn, we got to go back. One of them, y'all remember they dropped a rat picture and they had like multiple rat emojis on people's pictures. So obviously it was known back then, right? But y'all know that's just, you know, they heard me start deleting stuff. But that's what started the whole OTF Jam thing, right? And remember, I told y'all it was kind of confusing because at the time you had like different narratives being spun, but nobody really had any proof. But obviously, they was right because we just now get confirmed that OTF Jam is a cooperating defendant on the case or a cooperating witness or however you want to word it, right? So my thing with the OTF Jam thing is like for you. It was twin. I thought so. Look, I be trying to remember. Okay, so it's like they already knew what was going on 2 years ago with the situation, right? So my thing with OTF Jam is like, damn, you pled guilty. You done did what 30 interviews with the feds and stuff. Like, how much time did you get off? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because like I want to know like what your plea deal look like. I ain't gonna hold you. Something like this, you gotta do me a proffer. Like, I need no time. Like, pleading guilty for something, like how many years did you get shaved off for telling all that? Like on some real stuff. Like, I can't wait to see what the deal is. Or I hope the deal comes out at trial because a lot of times the defense does like to highlight what deals were made. Because I want to know. To talk to the feds 30 times, okay? On top of pleading guilty to a murder for hire case, how many years did you get? They knew it was Jam because houses started getting raided when Jam got locked up and he couldn't be found in the system. Fat said Jam never got paid the way he told that 50K wasn't enough for all them murders. 50K for God dang. All right, so we're going to get in. We're going to keep going. Y'all already see Vonnie's on the screen. I ain't going to lie, man. Listen, as details coming out, man, they definitely would have had my boy on the last indictment. They would have picked Zoo ass up because Vonnie is definitely the one that was selling on Zoo, for sure. So I'm like, it just went over my head at the time when Zoo was in his own way trying to tell me that. I missed it. But yeah, Zoo definitely would have been on this damn case, for sure. But let's listen to what they said about him at court.
Next is Kevon Grant, aka Vonnie, and prosecutors described Vonnie as Durk's right-hand man, almost like a personal assistant who would shop for him, book transportation, and do other stuff. And in regards to Vonnie, the government told the jurors that he was apparently involved in a stolen car ring and was someone who could obtain stolen cars and guns. According to prosecutors, Durk got Vonnie to get the cars and guns that were used in this alleged murder. Now, Vonnie has also pleaded guilty.
Hold on. Pause real quick. Y'all remember the body cam footage that dropped on Vonnie? We reacted to it over here. And remember, it was a situation with the car. Hey, I ain't gonna hold you. Remember, they had to tow the car because the paperwork wasn't right on it. Y'all remember that body cam footage? Mm-hmm.
And is cooperating with the government. And so he will also be taking the stand against the defendants in this case. And then the last person to know is Keith Jones.
Hold on, pause. I ain't gonna hold you. I need to be out there when Vonnie take the stand. I'm gonna have to figure out when he's supposed to take the stand. I want to see that in person. Now, that's the one witness I want to see in person. Like, I want to know because, again, he originally was at the top of the indictment. Now he's not even on the indictment, obviously, right? So I want to see what he has to say for sure, okay? Zoo might have ducked it, though, because Boona didn't get picked up, and Jones saying Boona, the one who recruited him for the murder. Damn, I can't say too much. Oh, my God. Okay, we're gonna go with that because if I get talking, I'm gonna say too much. Okay, shit, the trial gonna get interesting. Let me put it like that. The trial gonna get interesting. I ain't gonna hold you. And I think after we finish watching the video, I think we're gonna go back to the original indictment breakdown I did because, yeah, yeah, it's a lot. But let's get back to the video. Don, what's up, Don?
Prosecutors say Keith was the third shooter in this murder, and he has also pleaded guilty and will be testifying against the defendants. So that's 3 cooperating witnesses who will all be taking the stand against the 3 defendants in this case. You following? Okay. After introducing
pause. God dang. Have the defendant. It started off with 6, and now it's down to 3. Boy, y'all.
Those key players, the prosecutor then moves on to lay out the timeline of how they say this all started. So it started in November 2020 with King Von's death, and then.
So you think Boona gonna testify? No, I ain't saying that. We're gonna have to go back to the indictment though on some real stuff because it's like, you know, we're gonna have to go back to the indictment because y'all remember. We might as well do it right now while we bringing it up. Because y'all remember in the original indictment, they had co-conspirator 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Y'all remember that. Now, we done kind of figure out who certain people was in the indictment, right? Damn. Do I got the original indictment? Hold on. Because y'all, I did a full like cleanse, you know what I'm saying, of my documents. A lot of documents I lost. So hold on. Give me a second. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Yeah. Okay. Shit. What did I select? Oh, is this the original indictment? Let me see. I think it's the original one. I think I got the original one. I think this is the original one. Yeah, this is the original one. All right. So let's see. Let's go down. And y'all remember, this was the original. Remember, Vonnie was number 1. So Vonnie telling, they done said, Flocka, Keith Jones telling. I ain't hear him say nothing about the Houston guy, but you know, and this was before Durk got picked up too. This was the original one before Durk got added. All right, let me see something. Okay, co-conspirator 1. Remember, co-conspirator 1. We now know is Lil Durk. We now know is Lil Durk, right? So we look at co-conspirator 2, right? Jody, good morning. Co-conspirator 2. So we got Wilson, Jones, Lindsay, Houston, and then co-conspirator 2. So now it's safe to say co-conspirator 2 is who? Jam. It's safe to say that, right? So we keep going down. Okay, let's find where's 3. They're gonna bring up 3 at some point. Do they mention 3? Okay. I don't see a 3. They don't ever bring up 3. Oh, here we go. Let's go back. Health assistance and other things. Texting co-conspirator 3 biographical information about defendants. So co-conspirator 3, I believe, is like somebody in like on the business side, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's supposed to be the manager, somebody manager. Don't quote me on that. I'm trying to go off the top of my memory. I think co-conspirator 3 was the manager. So co-conspirator 1 was supposed to be Lil Durk. Co-conspirator 2 was supposed to be Jam. Co-conspirator 3 was supposed to be the manager, somebody manager. Okay. So let's keep going. Then where's 4? Where do they introduce 4? Oh, let me search. Cause where is 4 at? All right, so they only mention co-conspirator 4 once. Okay, so where's 5? All right, so didn't say including co-conspirator 5 as co-conspirator 2. Okay, so if we go off of that, okay, hold on, where we at? Number 3 is Durk ex-manager who he fired for stealing. Okay, so I do remember 3 was supposed to, so what we got? We got 1 was Durk, 2 was Jam, 3 was the manager. 4 hasn't been announced yet. 5. So if you're saying that Boona is 5 because he was the one who asked co-conspirator 2, which is Jam, to go. So it could be safe to say 5 is Boona, and then you got 6 is Bezu. And I don't even think they said 6 in this one, but 6 is Bezu. We now know. Yeah, y'all remember co-conspirator 6 didn't get brought up until I think the 3rd indictment. So that's who we got so far, right? Now, the thing is, okay, let's talk about the co-conspirators real quick, okay? So we got co-conspirator 1 is already indicted. That's Durk. Co-conspirator 2 is Telling. That's Jam. We don't know what the hell going on with co-conspirator 3 at this point, right? Then we don't know who co-conspirator 4 is either, right? Co-conspirator 5 is not indicted on this case, but got his own situation going on. You know, Boona. Co-conspirator 6 sadly is deceased. So it's people that's part of the co-conspirators that has not been picked up. And the question is why? You know, it could be many reasons. Maybe they don't have enough evidence on them, even though they got pieces of where they fit into the situation. They may not have enough evidence on the situation. And I ain't gonna lie, I gotta remember because all their names sound familiar. Boona is the one in Georgia fighting the body. That's Boona, right? Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. Is that Boona? Hold on. Boona is the one in Georgia fighting the body. And then Booney Mo is the one on drugs. Okay, so Boona is already fighting. So I ain't gonna lie. If Boona is number 5, I'm just thinking like, I ain't gonna hold you. Boona probably about to go up the creek on his case. So do you really take the time to indict him on this when he probably done on the Georgia case, like on some real stuff? He might be done. I could be wrong, but he might be done on it. So I mean, it's getting interesting. I ain't gonna hold you. It's getting interesting. And again, now we're starting to fill in the blanks from the original indictment. So the only co-conspirators that hasn't been named is 3 and 5, 3 and 4. Have they officially named Boona as 5? Or no? But it's interesting. I ain't gonna hold you.
The next thing that happened was an attempted shooting in Georgia in May of 2021. And then after that, we get to this murder that happened in August of 2022 in Los Angeles. It, of course, resulted in the death of Savia Robinson, although the intended target for that shooting, according to the government, was actually Quando Rondo. So the government lays all of that out during their opening statement, and they finish off the statement by reminding jurors again that all of this is because of Durk's revenge. They tell the jurors that they will see a text message where Durk says, quote, "We staying out other people's wars. They don't hop in ours. It's crazy. They don't slide or hurt. MFers leaving it all up to us." So that was their opening. And from there, Durk's attorney, Marissa Goldberg, was up to give her opening statement. And she starts off her opening with a quote. She says, quote, "Everybody knew I took care of Vaughn. Whatever you saw, I helped him do it. Everything. We were close from birth." And after reading that quote, Marissa Goldberg explains that that statement was actually said by Kevon Grant to law enforcement in a recorded interview in October of 2024. The theme of Goldberg.
Oh, Paul. God dang, Vonnie. Vonnie started telling on day one is crazy. The indictment came out October 2024. Like, I'm gonna hold you. Like, yeah, like, listen. Day one is. Now, again, this ain't got nothing to do with whether he was a street dude or nothing. It's just like, if you involved in all this illegal stuff and you just start telling on day one is crazy. Like, what the?
Berg's opening, in the simplest of terms, is basically that Kevon Grant, aka Vonnie, had the motive to do this, not Durk. Marissa explained that Vonnie and King Von's fathers were incredibly close. Their relationship actually went back decades, and because the fathers were close, it made King Von and Vonnie also close. So close, in fact, that Vonnie managed King Von. The two of them actually lived together at some point in Atlanta, and they even shared a bank account. Marissa notes that Vonnie's nickname was Cuz because he was considered to be a cousin of King Von, and so it just kind of picked up. And so,
okay, pause. All right, let's talk about it, okay? Because I think this is where this whole old Durk snitching. Listen, they just said that Vonnie told on day one. They just said Vonnie told on day one, right? Vonnie laid out all these details, whatever. So, what you thought Durk defense was going to say? Oh, by the way, we ain't going to address the prosecution just laid out that they got snitches, one of which is a co-defendant on this case. Hell nah. He trying to push this shit off on my client. This is why. Instead of him going in there and just telling on himself, he went on there trying to put my client in. My client ain't had nothing to do with it. Because again, if y'all remember the part of the video that we watched with Sid Nash already, Sid Nash said that basically Vonnie, Jam, OTF Jam, and the other dude never mentioned Durk name. So then you got Vonnie coming along, mention Durk name, like, come on, like, let's really talk about it. Like, as a defense attorney, hell nah. My client ain't had no motive. Forget the internet talking about slide for Von. The person that really felt the pressure was Vonnie. The witness that they got. That's going to come in here and try to put on my client. How is that snitching, though? That's not snitching. Snitching would have been bringing up Vonnie, and Vonnie ain't never said nothing. That would have been a totally different situation. If Vonnie ain't never said nothing or whatever, and then Durk team came in talking about Vonnie did it or whatever, they basically saying, hell nah. My client ain't got no motive like Vonnie talking about. Vonnie got the motive. Hell, his daddy went on a whole campaign for real. Everything they saying, his daddy done said on multiple platforms. So, like, I don't know where the snitching narrative came from. It don't make sense. But let's listen to the next part.
Unsurprisingly, the day King Von was killed in Atlanta, Vonnie was right there. Vonnie is actually the one who drove King Von to the hospital, and according to Marissa, after King Von got shot, he asked Vonnie, quote, "Why did you let me get shot? Why didn't you do something?" King Von ultimately succumbed to his injuries, and Marissa says that that death heavily impacted Vonnie. Enough.
Now, I ain't gonna hold y'all. Y'all remember now, I wasn't on YouTube when it happened, but even since I've been on YouTube and we covered it, y'all know how the internet done did everybody that was around King Von that night when he got shot. We think everybody run. The only persons or people that try to stand on business to a certain degree was Muwab, was oh my God, what's the other one who died? God dang it. who recently died. Dang, I'm rusty. What was his name? Somebody help me. Louis. Muwop Louis. And then the other guy that got killed that night, the same night. You know what I'm saying? So like y'all know how y'all know how it was online. They was frying them. They said everybody ran and left Von by himself. So think about it. Like I know the narrative is that the slide for Von put pressure on Durk. But let's really think about what the defense is saying. We done heard from Vonnie Daddy saying how like locked in they is. Like Vonnie Daddy was even still be around Von kids. Like Vonnie Daddy was like in the mix. Vonnie was in the mix with King Von. You know what I'm saying? They was close. So you talking about the sheet with slide from Von had Durk in a pressure cooker. Imagine being there when Von got killed and did nothing. And then they saying that Von asked him why he let it happen. Come on, you know that weighed on him. So I ain't gonna hold you. The fence is doing good because it got me thinking like you ain't lying. He would have the motive to like get it back. Cause y'all know people was frying everybody from running that night. Y'all know that for years. Right around. How many people have heard or seen or even thought like, damn, everybody ran? We ain't seen nobody try to do nothing but again, Muwop, Louis, the other guy that ended up getting killed that night. I can't even think of his name, but y'all know who I'm talking about. Like, other than that, who really was doing anything? Everybody scattered. Didn't Bonnie had a black coat? If I'm not mistaken, he definitely ran from the start. He ran. Maybe he ran to get the car, but he definitely ran for sure.
For him to want to do something about it. Like the government, Marissa highlights that Vonnie had ties to the criminal underworld and that he was known to secure stolen cars, stolen guns, and because he worked as an assistant, he was also very useful in booking things. Marissa.
Okay, pause real quick because I want to, while we on it, let me cause we did the reaction to Vonnie body cam where he was in a car with he didn't have the right paperwork on it. I could have sworn I reacted to that shit. I ain't gonna lie. How long ago was it though? Freak. Yeah, this one. I know, but I don't remember the title to my video. But just like for y'all to remember, this is the one.
The only one that's been driving this vehicle, or she's been driving it too? She's been driving it. So she got here when? The 30th of October. Well, that's the day my grandmother died. She got here in between those dates. Yeah. And in between those dates, when she got here.
So just to refresh our memory, remember it was an issue with the car. So I ain't gonna lie. Now they saying that he was part of like an underground car theft thing. No, I ain't gonna lie. But when I first reacted to it, I'm gonna have to find a video and just reshare it. I was like, you sure got a lot going on. Talking about the car got transported up from Atlanta to Georgia. I mean to Chicago, and you ain't got the paperwork. This don't go to this car. It did sound fishy for sure.
Says in regards to this whole murder, Vonnie is the one who booked the hotel for the defendants. He's the one who secured the 2 cars, the rented BMW and the stolen Infiniti. He's the one who purchased ski masks at REI. And because the defendants flew into San Diego, Marissa says Vonnie is also the one who arranged their transportation from San Diego to LA. And Marissa says this wasn't his first time doing all of this arranging. When Quando Rondo was shot at back in May of 2021 in Georgia, she says Vonnie arranged all of that too. And so she lays out her point that Vonnie was there when...
Okay, pause, okay? Let's talk about it, especially to the ones that's pushing the snitching shit, okay? Listen, they done said that Vonnie was the person that gave all the details for everything that took place in Georgia, right? And I did this video way before the trial started, and I said, damn, he was the one telling on Zoo, right? So think about that. If he giving all these statements to investigators, to the police, right, about all these crimes and things like this, I'm pretty sure that is laid out in the prosecution's case. As a defense attorney, you got to poke a hole in that shit. Like, okay, yeah, he want to talk about what happened in Black Shear, but let's talk about he was the one that arranged everything, even on that. Oh, you want to talk about Durk being a mastermind behind his hit, but let's talk about how you was there when Vaughn got killed. You was there when Lil Pab got killed. You was the common denominator. So from a defense standpoint, they doing what they supposed to do. Because everything they going on about is what Vonnie already told prosecution. Vonnie gonna get on the stand and talk about all of this. You got to lay it out, letting the jury know right now, like, yo, he gonna get up here talking, but let me just go ahead and let you know he was part of this too. He did this. He had more of a vendetta against Quando Rondo and everybody else because he was from birth with Vaughn. He was there when Vaughn died. Before Vaughn died, asked him why he let it happen. Come on now. Like, you got to think about it like that. That's how I'm thinking about it. But y'all let me know in the comments if y'all think like, nah, that ain't that. It's still like just think about what they saying now.
King Von died. He was there for the May shooting in Georgia, and he was there for this August 2022 LA shooting where Savia Robinson died. She highlights that he was there for all three. But when he got caught for this last one, and officers asked him who is behind all of this, Marissa says a light bulb went off for Vonnie. And so he responded, telling them, quote, well, whose credit card was used? Obviously knowing it would go back to Durk. So that was Marissa's opening on behalf of Durk. Next.
My bad. Let's talk about it. They already know Durk is the bigger fish. Who the fuck cares about Vonnie? Like, let's really be honest. Who cares about Vonnie? If you had the option to take Vonnie down for it or Durk down, from a prosecutor, man, you taking Durk down. You taking the most well-known drill rapper, okay, down. Forget Vonnie. We gonna go ahead and cut him a deal, give him 30 years, okay? But we get Durk. We taking Durk up out of here. Y'all know how many times they gonna try to get Durk over the years? For sure they want Durk. Come on, that's a bigger payday. You know how many, if the prosecution win this case, do you know how many freaking people getting promoted? So of course they're gonna go with Durk instead of Vonnie. In your opinion, do you think Durk won in this trial? It's too early. I'm gonna be real, it's too early. Like, they haven't even, it's 7:43. They haven't even started testimony yet. OTF Jam takes a stand today. Like, it's just too early. I'm gonna be honest, it's too early. And y'all know when it comes to trial, I like to react in real time what's going on. Like, as of right now, from what Mel, shout out to Mel, what Mel broke down in the defense opening statement for Durk, they posed some doubt. Like, okay, the government wants y'all to believe my client had all this motive to do all this, but let's talk about one of their star witnesses. Now, again, if I was on the defense team as they paralegal, I'm going to make sure they know. You see all these interviews that Vonnie Daddy did saying how close they was. Like, come on, like, it's all there to be like, to poke out. So if I'm just going off an opening statement, I feel like it's definitely room for Durk to walk because they already gave you a person that could have been a mastermind. You got Vonnie that started talking day one, that's connected to the underground world with stolen cars. We done seen the body cam and all that, right? You got who had access to not only Durk money, but Von money. You got all of it. Come on, that's reasonable doubt. Now, will he get on a stand and really be that witness? I don't know. He might can sway because I think they got what five white jurors, one black juror, one like it's like I don't know if he can put that shit on now. Vonnie ain't no hood nigga either. If you look at all the videos of him, pictures of him, he don't have all the tattoos in his face. You know what I'm saying? So if I was part of the prosecution team, we gonna make sure he look clean. He gonna be clean. He ain't coming in here in no prison outfit. We gonna make sure we get him in a suit and tie. You know what I'm saying? He don't have all the tattoos. We might can push him as a reliable witness. And that will be the make or break for the situation when it comes to Durk. Will Vonnie be believable with whatever he says on the stand compared to, again, remember, they already had a juror when they was going through the jury process that looked at Durk and them like they was criminals. So if you can dress Vonnie up, put him on the stand, he got no tattoos. And again, tattoos don't automatically say nothing about you, but some people think they do. He don't have all that shit in his face. He's well-spoken. They might have a problem. But until he get on the stand, we don't know. I'm going to be honest with OTF Jam. I got to put it. OTF Jam going to be a wild card witness. And it kind of put me in the mind of Butter from Jacksonville, right? How he was he was a murderer, right? But at the same time, he's like, well, I did it and they did it. And it made you believe what the hell he was saying. So if Jam can get on there like, yo, I'm a killer rat, but these niggas was down with me and this is how it went and this, he might be believable. So I don't know. It's just until they get on the stand, until we get the breakdown, it's going to be kind of hard. But as far as opening statement, I do think Durk team placed enough reasonable doubt so far for you to say, it might have been Vonnie. And Durk was just the fall guy, possibly. But all right, let's get into Didi.
That was the opening from DeAndre Wilson's attorney, whose name is Craig Harbaugh. And the theme of his opening was that DeAndre, aka Didi, was just a passenger. Harbaugh says Didi came to LA not knowing the plan was to kill Quando.
Ah, shit. Didi done. Didi done. I ain't got, listen. All right. I know it come a point where if you're in the car, you're in the car. All right. But this is how the prosecution is going to end. It might be bad for everybody because everybody's going to try together. But this is why Didi is done already in opening statement. Because the prosecution is going to say, all right, you ain't know, what was about to happen. But you was there when it happened. And then you went and ate with the niggas afterwards. How do you make a regular person on the jury not look at you as a cold-blooded killer at that point? Now, this is why I say the Vonnie situation, right? Because they have pictures of Didi and Vonnie at the restaurant. They have evidence, and Vonnie, at this point, since he's telling, he's going to say he was there. So, if you paint Didi as a cold-blooded killer, you got to paint Vonnie as that too, which might free Durk. Because then you might think like, okay, so if Didi was there, saw it happen, niggas, and didn't say nothing to nobody, do nothing, just went and got some food and chilled out, then you got to look at Vonnie the same way. So maybe Vonnie was the mastermind and Durk over there filming a music video not knowing what's going on. So it's going to be one of them things. It's going to be interesting for sure.
He really wasn't even needed for this plan, and he didn't do anything to help further this plan. He came here thinking it was some kind of music opportunity and found himself as a passenger in a car with armed shooters. And then the final
opening. Okay, but pause though. Why did you go out and eat with them niggas? Like, like I know when you allegedly part of a crime or something, you just move out the way, right? You just don't think about it. But I ain't gonna hold you. The last thing I had wanted to do, whether I knew or didn't know, the last thing I'm gonna do is gonna have to eat with y'all niggas after this. When I want to be out of sight, out of mind, I'm not going to no In-N-Out burger. Like on some real stuff, and then you got to think about the average or regular person. I ain't gonna hold y'all. Think about this. You driving in a car. All of a sudden, you see a head-on collision. I ain't gonna hold you. Even if I ain't part of the accident, I'm going to fuck home. That's gonna ruin my whole day. And I ain't got nothing to do with the car accident. But seeing that, I'm going home. That's a sign I need to stay in the house. If I was on my way to eat, I don't want to eat. If I was on my way to the store, I ain't going to the store. Like, that's the type of person I am. So to me, if I was on the jury, that's what I would think you would do. Even if you didn't know what would happen, once you seen it, you would want to get out the way. Not go chill out with the killers In-N-Out. Now, some people may look at it like, hell, ain't had nothing to do with me. I'm going to continue my day. It just depends. You see how the thought process of that could go. But let's get into the next offense.
Opening was from David Bryan Lindsay's attorney, whose name is Tillett Mills, and he points out that his client, whose nickname is Brown Eyes, flew from Chicago to San Diego using his real name. And when the trip was over, he went right back home. Tillett Mills highlights that Lindsay wasn't trying to hide, and he is not disputing the fact that he was here in Los Angeles. Mills's point is that David Bryan Lindsay has been charged with murder for hire. And since he is alleged to have been a shooter, that means that there should have been some kind of payment or some kind of exchange for something valuable that was paid to Lindsay. The problem, according to Tillett Mills, is there's no evidence of a payment. The government, when looking, they searched Apple Pay, they searched Cash App, bank records, everything. And according to Mills, there is nothing to show that a payment was made to David Bryan Lindsay either before or after the murder. And because the government has claimed that the payment also came in the form of musical opportunities, Tillett Mills highlights that David Bryan Lindsay is not a rapper. He has no songs, no music videos, and no features. Okay, so those were the openings. Now let's move on to witness testimony.
CEO Pooh said, Mickey, you really think the jury going to believe that Durk had no knowledge of the move? If they go out, now again, we recapping day one. If they outline that, yeah, they could believe, like, listen, you got to understand, like, let's just go off of what we know before the trial started, right? You have, even in the original indictment, they said that Bonnie was the one that paid for the trips, did all that. Then they said that Dee Dee wasn't responsible for the payment. Then they said that this person dropped the location of Quando Rondo. Then they said this person, you know, found two people to fly from Chicago. You know what I'm saying? So, like, at the end of the day, it's moving pieces that don't include Durk. So it's not too far-fetched to say that Durk didn't have no knowledge. Now, if they can prove, like, that Durk was in a group chat talking about the pieces, like saying, yeah, yo, Dee Dee, drop that money off. Yo, Vonnie, set them flights. Like, if they got that, that would be a little different. But we just going off of what they saying right now. Yeah, why would it be too far-fetched? You got to remember, like, I like to give examples. Y'all know I'm trying to get better with my examples. For example, I don't like to use street examples because everybody not in tune with street shit. So let's just talk about a regular job. You at your job, right? Do your CEO of your company know everything you do? Like, real stuff. Do your CEO of your company know every move you make in real time? Or do they just have that expectation you're going to do what you're supposed to do, but they don't know what you're doing? Like right now, y'all know I got a cleaning company. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even there. I expect the people who work for me to take care of business. But if they go kill a nigga right now, hell, I don't know that that's what's going on. I'm thinking they cleaning the building. You know what I'm saying? But I don't, you know, like, so it's not far-fetched to think, you know? Now, until they have evidence to say otherwise is what I'm saying. But based off opening statements so far, I mean, it does cause some reasonable doubt, is my point.
Testimony. So the first witness of the day was the custodian of records for 911 calls, and the entire point of her testimony was for us to hear the 911 call that a woman made right after the incident. Savia Robinson's family did step out during the playing of this 911 call, but essentially the call was of a woman saying that someone had been shot at the gas station. She said she didn't see who the shooters were. They ran into an alley, and she didn't want to leave any information, but she just wanted to inform the police that someone had been shot. The witness after that was a supervising officer from LAPD, and he's the one who got the video surveillance from the gas station. The videos were shown to us and they were very quick, but what you are able to see in the videos is the black SUV that Quando Rondo and Savia Robinson were in at the gas pump. And then in the lower part of the screen, you see one of the shooters come into frame and shoot. In reaction to the shooting, the SUV drives off. All right, the next witness was a patrol officer, and the point of his testimony was really for us to see his body cam footage. So this particular officer, instead of going...
So it's pretty much, if y'all remember in the indictment, they already had the still photos of a lot of things. You know, this is supposed to be Quando Rondo and them, and then this is supposed to be one of the cars, because they was in two cars. Is that the only picture they had? Then, so this must be the video that they ultimately showed to the jury. Just to refresh our memory. There we go.
Going to the gas station, which was the scene of the shooting, he went to the location where the SUV drove off to. And when he gets to the SUV, he goes to Savia, and you can audibly hear him kind of moaning. And then you hear Quando Rondo yelling and saying his name, which, let me just say, was actually a very sobering moment and a reminder that regardless of what is proven or not proven, at the end of the day, this case is happening because someone lost their life and an entire family is affected by that loss. All right, the fourth witness was the medical examiner, and he testified about the gunshot wounds Savia Robinson suffered. So there were 4 in total, and the one that seemed to cause the most damage was one that pierced Savia Robinson's left chest, went through his left rib to his lung, and eventually pierced his heart. And then the final witness of the day was a detective named Detective Warner Carius, I think that's how you pronounce it, who at one point was the lead detective on this case.
It would be all right if they didn't charge him with conspiracy. Conspiracy is the easiest thing to prove. I mean, to a certain degree, not really though. Like, conspiracy, you still have to know, like, you still have to prove the person knew, was aware. You still have to connect that piece. You can't just say, oh, because they part of the same group that they're all, you have to prove it. Like, I'm gonna give an example. Since Quando Rondo is part of this case still, Quando Rondo had a conspiracy case, right? And he pled, that's what he did the first time. And it's because they could link different pieces back to him, and all of them decide to plead out on their case. So it's like, again, it just depends on the pieces to the puzzle. You know what I'm saying? Like I just gave you an example. My workers are cleaning a building. I sent them to clean the building. If they ultimately killed somebody at the building, how can you say I conspired or was part of a conspiracy to kill somebody? You have to prove that, hey, I knew what they was doing at that building with the murder. If you can't prove I knew, how can you say I conspired? So it's like one of those, like, it's a hit or miss. But ultimately, you have to still prove that, again, Durk was part of the conspiracy. And his defense team already laid out, like, they didn't need Durk to be part of the conspiracy when Vonnie had his hands in everything needed to carry out the murder for hire. You know?
But apparently he's not anymore, so I guess we'll hear from the new lead later. Anyway, this particular detective testified about how he was able to start piecing together who he believed was involved in this murder. And basically, after the shooting, investigators were able to pull surveillance footage from that gas station. And one of the first big breaks came from them seeing this white Infiniti that the shooters exited from behind the gas station. Now, because of the ambush-style nature of the shooting, the shooters getting out and running up to the gas station, the detective suspected that maybe the Infiniti had been following the SUV. So the detective pulls videos from around the area, and what he notices is that every time he sees the black SUV that had Quando Rondo and Savia Robinson in it, he also saw the white Infiniti and a white BMW. Now, the Infiniti ended up being a stolen car and had fake tags, but the BMW is able to be traced to a place called VEM Exotic Rentals. The owner at VEM says he doesn't have a rental agreement for who rented the car, and he's not really trying to give over his video surveillance, but the detective was able to get a search warrant for the video surveillance, and after viewing that surveillance, officers see a man who they can't yet identify returning the white BMW on August 20th, the day after the shooting. Now, while all of this is happening, the owner of VEM ends up calling the detective back and tells him that he has GPS on all of his cars, and he hands that GPS tracking information over to detectives. And from that, detectives are able to see that about 30 to 35 minutes after the shooting, the BMW went to a nearby In-N-Out to eat. The officers go to that In-N-Out to get surveillance, and there they're able to see the white BMW in the parking lot and another vehicle that seems to be linking up with the BMW. 3 people from these 2 cars walk inside of the restaurant, and one of the 3 people had red shoes on, red. And he also had jeans on that said rags to riches.
Yo, what up with these bright shoes? Y'all remember the O-Block case? The yellow shoes? Like, come on. What? I never understood that. Like, the brightest color, come on, you gonna stand out. Man, I would have been walking in my socks and then I'm not wearing the same shoes at all. Like, it's the phone evidence from Atlanta when Quando people asked for peace and he said, get a piece of this switch. Well, again, trial just started. Now, I have heard that was brought up during like the hearings before, but again, trial just started. So I don't know if that's going to be at trial yet. We'll have to wait for the recap for the upcoming days.
So the detective notices this rags to.
Because I want to remind y'all, just like I told y'all in the YNW Melly case, right? It's one thing what they had before. Trial is different because trial is where the jury sees what's presented at trial to make their decision. So until we hear it said at trial, then it's not in there. So we'll have to wait until they present the phone evidence at trial to know what's going to be in and what's going to be out.
Riches on these jeans. He Googles it and discovers that it's a clothing line that's only sold at 2 boutique clothing stores based in Chicago, Illinois. So the detective reaches out to the Chicago Police Department, sends them some of the screenshots, and asks if they recognize any of the people from the In-N-Out. Turns out Chicago PD says they recognize DeAndre Dede Wilson, and they send LAPD DeAndre's Instagram. LAPD does a search on the Instagram, and they're able to start piecing together who they believe are the other people involved in this. Now, while this is all happening, and after Chicago PD has confirmed the identity of DeAndre Wilson, LAPD sends a search warrant to Delta Airlines, United Airlines, Southwest Airlines, and Spirit.
All right, in my opinion, I ain't gonna hold you. They had them put Durk in their mind soon as they got Dede. I ain't gonna hold you. Cause like think about it. When that indictment hit, before we really knew who all was part of it, y'all know exactly the names we came up with. Those ones we always seen together when it came to OTF online. You know, people saying Booker was one of them. Like we all had certain people in mind. So I feel like the police already had Durk in they. Come on, you got Dede, somebody that's in the inner circle with Durk as far as we knew outside. Ain't no telling what they had on their side of things. Like I think that's what Dede put the target on Durk right there. Soon as they knew they had Dede, they felt like yeah, Durk gonna be part of this for sure.
Spirit Airlines, asking if any flights have been purchased for DeAndre Wilson from Chicago to Los Angeles in the allotted time frame. And it turns out United Airlines gets a hit. They tell detectives that they have a flight for Dede, but he didn't fly into Los Angeles. He instead flew into San Diego, and he was traveling with some other people. According to United, Keith Jones was on Dede's reservation, as well as David Brian Lindsay. And so LAPD gets surveillance video from the San Diego airport, and they see the 3 men getting off the airplane walking into the airport. As they were searching Dede's Instagram, they also come across someone who they believe looks like the man who had on the red shoes. And that is Jerome Casey Hester, aka OTF Jam. So long.
Hold on, pause real quick. So the Arthur Houston dude, what happened to him? He telling too? I ain't heard them say nothing about him yet. I might have to look that up. Matter of fact, I'm gonna try to look that up.
Enforcement sends out another search warrant to the airlines asking if there are any flights for OTF Jam, and they get a hit from Southwest. The detective looks at the surveillance from when OTF Jam landed at the airport, and what do you know? He had on red shoes. According to his investigation, the detective says that the men arrived in San Diego.
Okay, pause. He got separate. Okay. He might look up getting separate. God dang. Okay.
They then rode a Sprinter, or what somebody described as a party bus, to Los Angeles. And around 9 p.m., that white BMW is seen on video surveillance at the hotel that Quando Rondo was scheduled to stay at. The white BMW circles this hotel for a few hours, and Quando Rondo and Savia Robinson don't show up until close to midnight. The BMW circles, and eventually the white Infiniti also pulls up, and so both of them are circling. And then around 1 a.m., they both leave. I'm assuming they sleep for a little while, but by 9:20 a.m., the BMW is back at the hotel, which at this point is August 19th, the day of the shooting. And so based on the GPS tracking from the white BMW, officers...
I ain't gonna hold you. They was like on a stakeout. Who got me? Man. Listen. Oh, look, I'm yarning. Like sitting there waiting all that time, I wouldn't have been able to do it. You gotta have been motivated by something. I wouldn't have been able to do it. I would have been asleep in the car for sure.
Are able to get video surveillance from all around the city and all of the places that Quando Rondo went. And when they are observing all of that surveillance, what they see is the black SUV and then the white Infiniti and the white BMW, always only a few feet behind. So Rondo went to a dispensary. The BMW and the Infiniti are seen circling the dispensary. Rondo then went.
Rondo ain't had no security. Ain't nobody peep these. I ain't gonna hold y'all. Hey, if I see a car behind me too long, I'm on like, what this car on? I'm gonna turn left to see you turn left when I turn left. Like, didn't nobody, and I can only imagine like street niggas, like, didn't nobody peep that? Like, I pay attention to cars following me. Like, you make too many same turns as me, it's like.
To a Bape clothing store. The BMW and the Infiniti are seen circling that clothing store. And then eventually the SUV Rondo is in goes to the gas station, and the BMW and the Infiniti are seen around that area as well. The Infiniti parks in the alley behind the gas station, the shooters exit, and the shooting happens. I hope y'all followed all of that, because that is essentially how the detective identified the people he believed committed this murder. Now, before I go, let me give you a few more notes, because I didn't mention Durk a ton throughout this, but there are a few points that the detective talked about in regards to Durk. The first is that the flights were all shown to have been purchased on a card belonging.
Hey, Paul, listen, I ain't gonna hold you. Can't never be, man. You a known person. Never be too lax. Hell nah. Hell nah. Been the same corner me too many times playing on breaks. I'm trying to tell you. Like, I could be on my way home. If a car follows me, no, I ain't going home. We about to spin a block, and I'm about to see you still on me, because, like, come on. I think the driver gave the draw something, because it's like, that's like, ain't nobody pay attention. And I don't not no street nigga. But just a regular person like me, I'm like, who the fuck is this? Like, who? Like, man, you can't, sir. I can't see the same car too many times. I'm gonna be like, you own something. Like, I'm gonna be like my nerves gonna be bad. Like, on some real stuff. That's the name. Ola. I think it's number 3. I think that's the name of it. And you come on now. Listen. I don't be lax at no place with, and I don't even have no affiliation with none of that shit. So I can only imagine somebody with affiliation. Come on, hell no. Nah. And you know niggas, quote unquote, got bags on you. Nah, I wasn't been playing no games like that, for real.
To a person named Jason Smith, who worked, I don't know if he still works, for Durk. Now it's Jason Smith's card, but it's tied to Durk's business account. And then the other thing is that the VEM car rental place, the detective said there's a picture of the owner and Durk in the lobby of the building of that rental place. And according to the GPS of the BMW, the car went back and forth to the house Durk was staying at 15 times over the course of this incident, including when the BMW left the hotel at 1 a.m., it left there and went to the house Durk was staying at. Now, it was a house.
Okay, but Paul, man, I ain't gonna hold you. Wasn't Bonnie driving a car? So I mean, even if that's the case, I mean, you got the man with the cards. You know what I'm saying? You got the man, you know, that got access to all this shit. Like, and he the assistant to Durk. Like, come on. Of course, he gonna go get a luxury car. You got to ride in style. You the assistant to a Grammy Award winning rapper. You know, that's how I'm looking at it. If I was part of the defense team, I'm going with that. Like Vonnie, yeah. Of course, it came back and forth because it was Vonnie driving the car.
Durk had rented since July and was planning to stay until October, but the car was trapped there. Okay, I think that's it for day one. This detective will be back on the stand for day two to finish up direct examination.
Yo, shout out to Mel, man. We're going to tap back in with Mel when she dropped her recap. We may be a day behind because, you know, we got to wait on the recaps to come in. I'm going to tell y'all on some real stuff. Like, so far, I still think it's a hit or miss when it comes to Durk. Because the opening statement, again, does put a reasonable doubt into your mind that, okay, maybe that one of their star witnesses does have more to gain for doing this, right? But we just on opening statements. Court should be starting back up in like an hour or two. I'll try to do reactions throughout the day if I can, because you know I know Seti does breakdowns on Instagram. If y'all don't follow Seti Nash, tap in with Seti Nash. You know, I'm not a lawyer, be on Twitter. I'll try to keep up as much as I can in real time. But y'all know I'm in blogging mode, not really YouTube mode. But we'll definitely tap in tomorrow morning, same time, break down whatever was going on today at trial. What else? I pretty much think that's really it right now. Like, I done pretty much gave y'all my view on things in real time throughout the video. I'm about to clip it down and post it for a video. So y'all make sure y'all tap in with that. But I might get up off of here, y'all. I got to go to the bank. Okay. So with that being said, like, comment, share, subscribe, tell a friend to pull up on your girl, Mickey Truth. I appreciate y'all for rocking out with me. And I'll catch y'all on the back end, well, really tomorrow. But anyway, I'll see y'all.